All right, Vanessa, what's the adventure today?
Today, we are going to the Grand Canyon.
How are we doing that?
We are going by rail.
We invite you to join us as we venture to the Grand Canyon via the Grand Canyon Railway. This trip is in celebration of our 10-year anniversary, a celebration that in December of 2022, we didn't know that we would have together due to an unfortunate accident that left Vanessa paralyzed. We are blessed to have the opportunity to celebrate together and very gracious to my mother for helping make this opportunity happen.
Going into this trip, one of the main questions we had was, how on earth are we going to get me and my manual wheelchair into a train? Join us as we explore the Grand Canyon Railway together. We will highlight the accessibility of the trip and discuss a few tips and tricks we picked up along the way, and share in the sights, sounds, and enjoyment of the Grand Canyon Railway.
All aboard as we join this epic journey together.
Our trip started by checking out the ticket office, and immediately we were excited to see push buttons that allowed me easy access to the shop.
You gonna push it?
Yeah. The restrooms at Williams Station were also very wheelchair accessible.
For once, we were a bit early for the start of the pre-boarding train show, a Western show that they have, but that was not a problem because we quickly found some outdoor entertainment and talented musicians who would join us on the journey to the Grand Canyon, giving us a little taste of some pre-show music. After enjoying a tune or two, we moseyed our way over to the pre-departure show. I'm going to save most of the details for you, but know that this is an element of the trip that I would not skip out on. After the Western show, we needed to find our train car. We had tickets for the Yavapai first class car. I made this decision after discussing options with a representative of the Grand Canyon Railroad. I was assured that this car would work best given our current situation, but I was still curious to see how we would get Vanessa on the train.
For my wife, do you want us to go at the end? That way she's got to use the lift to get on? Yeah. We can do video right now.
Yeah, we can do it right now.
Okay.
As we entered the train, we were blown away by the amount of space that was on this car. I was able to make an easy transfer right from my wheelchair into the seat.
I was getting on the train.
It was fun. We had elevator jokes and everything. They had these big silver things to pull up and that I could roll onto, and then they cranked me up and I could roll right on.
Yeah.
It was pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
I pull my wheelchair all the way in and transfer right into these seats, and lots of space, legroom that I don't need, but just very appreciative of.
The wheelchair fits all the way where the legs are.
One of the perks of being in first class was the food. We didn't have to walk to the snack cart because we had all the refreshments we could want provided for us as part of our first class ticket.
Even the tray tables in this car showed impressive ingenuity.
One of the cool things we've learned is there are pretty nice tray tables,
Yes.
and they telescope.
I didn't expect I'd be able to reach it very well because it'd be like over here, but it comes all the way back. It's pretty sweet.
Now sit back and relax as our train takes off out of Williams, where we're going to share some scenery, the diverse scenery from Williams all the way to the Grand Canyon with you. Pay special close attention because shortly we're going to go through Arizona's longest tunnel. That's going to be fun. Stick around to the end to see a recap vlog with me. Train tunnel in Arizona. Hold your breath. In Williams.
That's it. Keep them up. Hand it over, and nobody gets hurt. And the girl. Yes, look at that. There we go. Hey, you look like you might be a good cook. You know, we're looking for a cook.
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It was hilarious. If you get to go on the Grand Canyon Railroad trip, I highly recommend it. Again, it was
super fun.
Super fun. It was a childhood dream of mine to be on a passenger train. First time I've got to do that, like outside of Six Flags in Dallas, you know, or Arlington. So,
I think I did one as a kid in Michigan. It was some like, yeah, they themed it, and it was like Halloween when I did that one. But yeah. I don't remember much. I remember being terrified, actually. I was like really afraid when the train started moving because I thought it was going to like feel really fast or something.
Yeah. So the top speed of the train was around 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Not the fastest train in the world. You
Relaxing.
can drive from Williams to the Grand Canyon in an hour in a car.
Yeah.
The train, it takes about 2 hours. There is a lot of this trip that is accessible. I think whenever I had the idea of, hey, I want to do an anniversary thing, let's do something fun. And I mentioned this to Vanessa. I was surprised she said yes. And then the next thought I had was, how are we getting you on a train?
Yeah, this is the first trip we've done, especially to mark a special anniversary, like that we're dealing with, accessibility. Because we were like, we could go be by water somewhere, or we could go do this. And it was like, you know, kind of our normal mode of things would be to go find a Airbnb or something like that. And it was just like, that's probably not going to work.
We chose to have some fun adventure.
Yeah.
And we did a train ride. And I highly recommend it, the Grand Canyon Railway. They were saying there was around over 700 passengers on the train that we were on. And
so that saved all of, over 120, 50 vehicles of all of those 700 people driving to the canyon.
You said there wouldn't be traffic. This is traffic.
But back to accessibility, big questions we had. How do you get on the train?
Yep.
How far can you get on the train? How does that work? Can you transfer? Knowing that there are, in a normal train ride, 4 ADA cars, and if you do the Polar Express with them, the Adventure, there's 2 that are ADA compatible, where they can get you in, they can get you seated. Let's check that out real quick, and you'll get to learn more about it.
They have an accessible restroom on the train. I'm in it. It's got grab bars in all the right places. I can angle up really easy right over here. Even wash my hands while I'm on the toilet, which is really handy. Changing station, and plenty of room to get in and out with my wheelchair, and a sliding door. Let's see. There we go. Nice and big. While Jeff's exploring the train, I'm putting my feet up.
As Vanessa relaxes with her feet up, we're going to walk the rest of the way through the ADA first class car that we are on, the Yavapai car. And I'm going to show you one of the transitions between cars. I thought it was pretty slick, how they connect the cars, and it really feels quite safe when you're transitioning between cars. We're going to walk through this first class car, which is not ADA accessible. You'll see that there's lots of space, lots of benches that are turned toward each other. Even in the car we're in, you can turn them. We don't have an observation dome like this first class car has, so there are options in first class for an observation ticket where you can set in the dome and get 360 panoramic views. We're passing through where their snack bar is located, which is in the middle of the car. Now we're in the Pullman class car, and the Pullman class car is a 1923 Harriman-style coach car that has been refurbished. These classic cars were built by the Pullman Company and feature seats that flip so families can face each other, and windows to let light in, and good old-fashioned country AC. The entertainment value on the train is fantastic. The coach class car is another ADA-compliant train car option for those that need the ADA accessibility. It features bench seats. They don't flip around, but this is the ADA space. I wanted to highlight it and show you. If you want to go to the Grand Canyon via the train, here's your other option, and you get a nice big window to observe all the beautiful views as you travel. Going into the cafe car, it is quite busy, and this is where you would get your snacks if you're riding coach or if you're in first class or any of the other classes and want to go and enjoy the cafe car. This is the cafe car that we are walking through. Features some benches to play games on, as you've seen, as well as lots of options for snacks for your Grand Canyon Railway trip. The last option on the Grand Canyon Railway is the luxury domes and luxury cars. This is one of the bathrooms, one of the mini bathrooms you could have in the luxury cars. And for the dome or observation seating, you have to be able to climb multiple small steps, very small steps. My shoulders touch both sides of that wall. And the luxury or observation dome has quite low ceilings. As you can see, there's very comfortable seating as well as snacks up on the second level for those sitting in the observation dome. So you can have refreshments as you are looking at panoramic views along the way. The stairwell is quite tight, and there's also another restroom on the other side of the observation dome, which you have access to. If you're a ticket holder, you also get access to this beautiful lounge, which has another snack bar and refreshment bar that you can enjoy. The last option we have, and the very last car on the train, is a luxury car. It features some very large bathrooms for both men and women. However, there are steps to get up to the restrooms, and the doors are not quite wide enough for my wife's wheelchair to fit through these, and there's no grab bar, so they're not specifically ADA approved. However, if you want the luxury experience with a more parlor car feel, sitting in couches, and you're able to, this is a very good option for you with some modifications that can be made to ensure that you can get on and off the car. There's lots of space. Again, my wife's wheelchair could definitely fit in and around the couches, and it's easy to transfer on and off. There's a snack car, as well as an observation deck, which this is the only car you can get an observation deck. If you want this experience, you have to specify the very last car when you are signing up for a ticket, and you would be able to enter through the very last car observation deck.
I paused for a minute when I first got off the train facing these sets of railroad ties. I realized quickly I could pass over them safely, popping my casters up over the spaces. As I was passing, some staff paused to tell me they usually recommend going over them backwards. Since I was already on my way going forwards, I didn't change directions. I felt more nervous going backward than I did going forward. Of course, for experimentation and demonstration purposes, we made sure to film me going over them backwards after a few minutes too. Backwards is definitely the best way to cross without popping a wheelie.
How did you feel overall with the train?
This was such a fun, relaxing way to see the Grand Canyon. Most of our stuff has been like lots of energy of hiking and going, and this one was more, I'm gonna sit on a train and enjoy the views. And we sat for a while at the canyon and just to watch and relax and be together, and it was really nice.
Yeah. Tips, tricks that we learned through this experience. I think one of the things that I would highly recommend if you can swing it, you can go either coach or first class and luxury. You could get in the luxury car on the very back car. But as I was talking to all the train staff, they are more than willing to help you adapt your trip to your specific needs as they can. They're not always able to. They're
super friendly.
antique cars. So like we could not ride the Pullman car with Vanessa's particular disability, because there's really no feasible way to get her on and off, safe way to get her on and off the train.
And that one's a
to her seat.
historic car.
1920s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
cool.
that makes sense.
Cassidy, our particular attendant, was amazing.
Absolutely.
Full of energy, full of life, lots of terrible jokes, and they were great. She was willing to chat with us, and one of the questions she asked that I think would be good for us to talk here is, out of 10, how would you rate the accessibility of this experience?
I said 9 when she said it.
And I said 8. And the reason I said 8 is because I get to walk the whole train.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get to see, there wasn't much I could move around in. Like, I got on the train, got in the back of it, and that was kind of my area. Like, I couldn't move. There was a bathroom there, which was awesome. You know, something I don't get on an airplane usually. Having a bathroom and the ability to, you can stay in your chair, or you can transfer over to their seats.
And their seats are really big. They're nice. Where we were at,
Easy to
you don't have
transfer.
the same accommodations if you're in coach. You're more limited even in coach. The thing I liked about being in first class where we were, snacks. We got snacks part of the ticket. And if Vanessa was trying to do this alone, or if I was even trying to juggle going to the snack car, holy smokes, the snack car is packed and it is tiny and expensive. So at the end of the day, what's cheaper, I don't know. I would venture to say what we did was a really good bang for our buck, especially for an anniversary trip, something we're not going to do all the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely the way I would go. I would do it again this way. And we had snacks. Now, I was talking to Cassidy, and she said one of the things they would do if we were in coach and we needed a snack and we trusted them with our credit card, they would be more than willing to help us as the train staff navigate to the train and get the snacks and bring them to us, which is an awesome thing to note, that you're not necessarily barred by the very tiny spaces that I have shown. That they're willing to help in any way possible to make this trip a success and just a lot of fun for you.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, the Grand Canyon. So like that's you get to go to the Grand Canyon. So if it's on your bucket list to go to the Grand Canyon and you're like, I don't know how I want to do this, and you don't want to think through a park pass and driving and parking and figuring it out all, just take the train ride.
It's great.
They have an ADA shuttle for the train that would take you up at least
to Bright Angel Lodge.
And you can roll in. And by far, out of all the views, we've seen a couple, and we did both in a wheelchair.
Yep.
This time, instead of going to Bright Angel, which we normally do, we went to
Mather Point.
Which is closer to the visitor center. It was crazy busy, and I didn't realize how much elevation change there was, because last time we did it, we were full able-bodied. This time in a wheelchair, I assisted Vanessa a lot.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to getting an e-assist.
An e-assist. We're looking forward to experimenting with some things, but part of why we do the journeys we do and the gear that we have is to show you it's possible.
Yep.
And how we're trying to get out there and experiment and explore with the gear that we have. You know, like you don't have to go broke to get out of the house.
Yeah. This is just the first wheelchair I got. And they say your first wheelchair is your worst wheelchair, so I'm doing this all in my worst wheelchair.
Yeah. And I think this is the time where a shout out goes. I know it's not a traditional sponsor, but my mom, shout out, thanks for helping us on this adventure. One of these days, maybe we can get you on the train with us, because that would be a whole lot of fun.
It would be great.
Until next time,
On to adventure.
on to adventure.